In the land of Egypt, the mightiest empire on earth, the children of Israel groaned under the weight of slavery. For 400 years, the Hebrew people had suffered in bondage, building monuments to gods they did not worship. They labored from sunrise to sunset, their bodies broken but their spirits still hoping for deliverance. Generation after generation was born into chains, knowing no life except suffering under Egyptian taskmasters. But far from Egypt, in the wilderness of Midian, God was preparing a deliverer. Near the mountain of God, where clouds gathered at the peak, a man was about to encounter the living God. His name was Moses, and he had been a shepherd in this wilderness for 40 years, far from the land of his birth. Moses had once been a prince of Egypt, but that life was long behind him now. He had become a simple shepherd. One day, as Moses led his flock near the mountain, he saw something that made him stop in wonder. A bush was on fire, yet it was not burning up. The flames danced, but the leaves remained green. Moses approached slowly, his eyes fixed on the impossible sight before him.
I must see why this bush is not consumed.
Then a voice thundered from within the flames.
Moses, Moses.
And Moses answered,
Here I am.
Take off your sandals,
the voice commanded,
for you are standing on holy ground.
Moses removed his sandals and hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God.
I have seen the misery of my people in Egypt,
God said.
I have come to rescue them, and I am sending you.
Moses' heart raced.
Who am I to go to Pharaoh? Who am I to bring the Israelites out of Egypt? I'm slow of speech,
Moses protested.
I am not eloquent. Please, Lord, send someone else.
But God demonstrated his power, turning Moses' staff into a serpent and back again.
Your brother Aaron will speak for you,
God said.
Now go, I will be with you.
And so Moses left the wilderness and returned to Egypt, carrying nothing but a wooden staff and a divine mission. The palace of Pharaoh was the seat of all power in Egypt, where the king ruled as a living god. Pharaoh sat on his golden throne, surrounded by priests and nobles, the most powerful man in the world. Moses and Aaron entered the throne room, two old men facing an empire, with only God's word as their weapon.
Let my people go,
Moses declared,
so that they may worship the Lord in the wilderness.
When Moses threw down his staff and it became a serpent, Pharaoh's magicians did the same. But Moses' serpent swallowed all the others, a sign of whose power was greater. Yet Pharaoh hardened his heart. I do not know this, Lord, and I will not let Israel go. Then God began to pour out his judgment on Egypt. Moses struck the Nile with his staff, and it turned to blood. Next came frogs, millions of them, covering every surface, filling every home, tormenting every Egyptian. Then gnats arose from the dust, swarming over man and beast without relief. Flies plagued the Egyptians, but the land of Goshen, where the Hebrews lived, remained untouched. The livestock of Egypt died in the fields, while every Hebrew animal survived unharmed. Painful boils broke out on all Egyptians. Even Pharaoh's own magicians could not stand before Moses. Hail mixed with fire rained from the sky, destroying crops and killing any creature left outside. Locusts devoured everything that remained, stripping Egypt bare of vegetation. Then darkness, a darkness so complete it could be felt, covered Egypt for 3 days, but the Hebrews had light. Still, Pharaoh refused. God warned of one final plague, the death of every firstborn son in Egypt. God instructed the Hebrews to sacrifice a lamb and paint its blood on their doorframes as a sign. That night, The Hebrew families ate the Passover meal in haste, their sandals on their feet, ready to leave. At midnight, the angel of death passed through Egypt, entering every home not marked by the blood. But wherever the blood was on the doorframe, the angel passed over, sparing those inside. From Pharaoh's palace to the humblest servants' quarters, wailing filled the night as Egypt mourned its children. Pharaoh's own son died in his arms, and his pride was finally broken.
Go,
Pharaoh cried to Moses,
take your people and leave, and bless me also.
That very night, 600,000 Hebrew men, plus women and children, walked out of Egypt, finally free. God led them not by roads, but by a pillar of cloud by day, guiding their every step. By night, the pillar became fire, giving them light and warmth, a visible sign of God's presence. But Pharaoh's grief turned to rage. He gathered his army, 600 of his best chariots, and pursued. The Israelites found themselves trapped, mountains on either side, the Egyptian army behind, and the Red Sea before them.
Do not be afraid.
Moses told the terrified people.
Stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord.
Moses stretched his staff over the sea, and the Lord drove back the waters with a powerful east wind all night. The sea divided, forming two great walls of water with dry ground between them, a pathway through the impossible. All through the night, the Israelites crossed on dry ground, walking where fish had swum moments before. Children reached out to touch the walls of water, solid as glass, held back by the hand of God. The Egyptians followed them in, confident their chariots would catch the escaping slaves. But in the morning watch, their wheels stuck in the mud, and panic seized the Egyptian army. "Let us flee from Israel," they cried. "Their God fights for them against us." Then Moses stretched out his hand, and the waters crashed back together, drowning Pharaoh's entire army. When the sun rose, the Israelites saw Egyptian bodies washed up on the shore. The pursuit was over forever. Moses looked upon the sea and wept, tears of overwhelming gratitude for God's mighty deliverance. His sister Miriam took a tambourine and led the women in dancing and celebration. All of Israel joined in song. "The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation." The elders who had been born in slavery fell to their knees, unable to believe their freedom was real. God led them through the wilderness to his holy mountain, where clouds and fire covered the peak. Moses alone climbed into the cloud to meet with God and receive his commandments. For 40 days, the people waited while Moses communed with the Almighty on the mountain. Moses descended with the law written by God's own finger, and a covenant was made between God and his people.